G'day watchers, welcome to Perth WAtch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I'm featuring the latest piece from none other than CIGA Design, a brand that I've really enjoyed featuring their watches in the channel. I've featured quite a lot each time, really quite pleasurable. This is a typical flat packaging from them, and spinability is actually pretty darn good, at least a 4 out of 5. Now this actually comes with a separate packaging with the bracelet, or the strap if you will. It comes in external packaging like this, and I gotta show you that this is the first one that actually came with the entire strap changing tools. So shout out to them for providing this. It's really quite a nice bonus. You can actually do it all without buying extra tools. All right, getting into this now. So typical book type, you can see the brand model there. And this is the story. I can just kind of make up something, but at least it's pretty cool. A little bit of story there, a little bit of a showcase of, their design and whatnot. And then the watch is here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out. Sorry, I'll just put that aside, and the straps, and put it together for you guys now, because it is quick release. So theoretically, it should be fairly easy to do. Okay, so maybe some slight forwarding there, but that's how it is done. And just showing you guys this in closer detail. You saw the name already, CIGA Design Z Series Hunter is this watch. Now Indiegogo, as it is on now, initial introductory price of $399 USD. So that is the discussion point that we will be doing for this watch here. So first up, as I usually do, let's talk about the movement. So the movement in here, guys, is what they call in-house caliber, CD07. It's not exactly the same as their other watches that I featured, like the X series and whatnot. So I assume it truly is original. The bridges, the location of the wheels, they have actually tweaked it up to come up with this particular movement. Stats down the left of screen there, it is high beat. It does have 24 jewels, 40-hour reserve. It does hack and have a manual winding option. Rated accuracy, -15 plus 25, but I'm getting about -8, which is, I guess slightly annoying, but it is within the stated limits there. Now, one thing to note is that anchor-shaped rotor, which is pretty cool, right? It is actually somewhat unique, somewhat engineered. Not the first time I've seen an anchor rotor, but it's a nice touch, as well as the fact that their brand name actually shows, I'll just try to show it here, actually shows through the front of the watch right there. You can see in many of the pictures that they put online. Okay, now moving on to this case then. So this case here is a 43 millimeter wide. So, if you ignore those crown guards, so between my thumbnails there, it's 43 millimeters. 12.5 millimeter in thickness, 22 millimeter, I guess, lug width, you can call it. These are kind of hidden lugs. And the watch height between my thumbnails there is 48 millimeters. Now the weight with this rubber straps, silicone rubber straps, 97 grams. If you change it over to the bracelet, which I'll show you later, it is 134 grams with about 4 links, which I have removed. Finishing wise then, so predominantly matte. So this is kind of a matte sandblasted finish, which is really quite nicely done here. That's deliberate. 316L steel underneath, and they've gone for a DLC coating, diamond light coating, which, if you're in the know, this is not the cheapest way to do it. Cheapest way would be something like, physical vapor deposition of some form. This is a more expensive way of doing it, and it promises more resilience and harder coating material here. Multi-compartment or multi-level tonneau case. I'll let you see and decide what you think about this case. It is kind of multi-leveled. There are kind of different elements there around the periphery of the watch. You can see kind of these see-through elements here. So, but it is kind of an octagonal tonneau case. It does have some polished bevels. I'll just let you, see some of those. Obviously that big element there, but there's a couple of other polished, chamfered edges there, including, what's in the movement. So nice little touches that they've done here. The display back is, it's got 4 screws there which kind of hold that display back onto there, which is really quite pretty, really nicely done, display of this movement here. It's a push down crown, right? It's no screw. You wind it in the 0 position. The water resistant rating is only 30 meters, which I don't mind, which is, this is a showcase watch. It is not an everyday watch. It is not a sports watch, really just to showcase technology and that movement. Right, moving on to where a lot of the action is. So this dial, obviously it's a full custom skeleton dial, skeleton movement here, right? The movement is floating. It's got, 4 points, that X-shaped motif that they're going with there. It's suspended in the middle of the watch. The bridges are all matte finish or sandblasted in that DLC or whatever the movement is finished in. It's got polished chamfers in the inside edges and in some of the outside edges, which catch the light in some angles. Really quite a nice little feature and attention to detail they've put in here. Now the chapter ring floats around the side of the case there, just inside of the case there. It's a peripheral chapter ring, but it's got 12 chromed indices here. You can hopefully see it in the close-ups that I'll show you here, with Lume in some of those positions here. Now the hands are polished angular style skeleton hands. I don't know what you call this shape. This is quite unique. Green glowing Lume on all 3 hands, as well as compass indices. So just 3, 6, 9, and 12. A Lume shot right here for you guys to see how it looks like in the dark. Okay, moving on then. So on top of the movement is a curved sapphire. This is a tonneau case, Richard Mille type of copy, if you will, but not really, not exactly. But, because of the shape, it's going to be a curved sapphire with some anti-reflective coating, as you can appreciate. Right, and that's it for the watch. Now this strap, moving on to straps now. So this is a fluoro orange silicon rubber. Unfortunately, this hardware, right, it's a matte finish, but it doesn't match. So unfortunate, right? No, it's got CIGA Design. It's pretty nicely done, but you can see it is not a coated kind of a steel there. It does have quick release bars, and there you have it. Nothing much more to say. Let's snap it on the wrist for a wrist shot for you guys now. And there it is, the CIGA Design Z Series Hunter on my 17 centimeter wrist. Remember, it's only 12.5, in height, 48 millimeter tall. So, it is definitely sizable, and it is a watch that has a lot of wrist presence because of that width as well. And I have to say, I've quite enjoyed this strap. It does call attention to the wrist, and I have really quite enjoyed wearing it because it's comfortable and it keeps the whole package quite light. On the other hand, if you go with the bracelet, it's not quite as economical in terms of weight. So let me just get out the bracelet. So this is the packaging here, and that's the bracelet. And let me just try to assemble this in front of the camera for you guys. So first up, let's just check where the up side is. So that's the correct side up. Okay, so, slightly fiddly because it is a bracelet, and maybe I had to fast forward that a bit, but, that took me certainly only a number of seconds, definitely not over a minute. And there you have it. That's the look of it. So this is matching, all right? That's the pleasing thing about this H-Link bracelet, all right? Matching DLC-like coating. It's got a chamfered edge there, which catches the light. Okay, butterfly clasp release. Right, that's how it is. And then push pin adjustment. Okay, nothing more than that. It is actually push pins. And of course, quick release bars, which you watch me fiddle just now. Okay, and then now, just lastly, snap it on the wrist for you guys. And this is pretty good as well. It is actually very comfortable and, pretty nice. But I have to say, no half links were provided. So I have to say, this is actually currently slightly tight for my wrist. It's actually very snug, And if I put one more link there, it actually feels slightly loose. So a little bit of a minus there because there is no half link that I would have preferred and definitely would have put in for my own use. Okay, so that's the entire description. What are the pros here? Look, I have to say, astounding value, right? Under $400, $399. What are you getting? You're getting this in-house caliber, which is really nicely done. A custom matte DLC coating case. So this is by no means OEM factory or anything like that. Sapphire crystal, a combination of a matching bracelet or the option of a fluoro rubber. Look, this is really fantastic value, I would say. CIGA Design, they deserve all the success that they get. I think the way they showcase this skeleton movement, the way they've manufactured it is really quite well done. It is a very attractive type of skeleton, one of the better ones, I would say. I've had the pleasure to feature on the channel, as well as the back, even the back, with the anchor, how it kind of comes out, at the front. Let me just get that anchor down there. Comes up out the front here as well with CIGA Design. Really nice little touches all the way around. The case finishing with that matte DLC, that matches on this bracelet. Also well done and quite attractive. It comes in black and comes in plain steel. I think most people probably wouldn't get the plain steel with these choices, but let me know what you think. Overall, I reckon this is simply a gorgeous, it's really quite a beautifully done watch. Now, any complaints? Well, yeah, no watch is perfect, and this is not a watch to tell the time quickly, right? You glance at this sometimes, depending on the angle, depending on the time, I do have to take some time to actually read this. So it's not the quickest in terms of glancing for time. Relatively poor lume, I would have to say. It does have lume, but that's kind of only a bit of a second thought or afterthought here. Only 30 meters, so unfortunately you won't be using this as an everyday watch, but you wouldn't, right? Not a watch like this necessarily. And then as I mentioned already, no half links on the bracelet, so it may not fit you very well. It doesn't fit me very well. Now this strap, lastly, they've provided orange. These are green highlights. Maybe fluoro green would be better because there's no orange on the watch. So in terms of matching highlights, not sure about this one. Maybe they should have gone with fluoro green instead to match those highlights on the watch here. And then lastly, of course, I already mentioned non-matching buckle. A little bit odd. Why did they not do that? Maybe they ran out of budget. And that's really it. I feel like I'm nitpicking a little bit on the packaging that is, obviously excellent overall, and they will be successful, already successful on their launch. Check out the details below if you want to find out more on Indiegogo. Otherwise, leave comments. I look forward to the conversation to follow. Thank you guys again for sticking with me. As always, I'll catch you next time.